Hey, good day, everyone. And on screen with me are head coach of the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos, Rick McLaughlin, and Libero, Jaden Glenn. Thanks for joining me today, gentlemen.
Thanks,
Good to
Rob.
hear from you, y'all.
It's such a great time, especially when the 2024 NCAA Division I, II men's volleyball season comes in hot in January. And with that, I want to get a preview of this very threatening UC Santa Barbara team always. And we're going to find out about you guys. But first of all, I wanted to hit you up first, Rick, about a key piece to your program. He's been a cornerstone and such a consistent and high-level performer in Ryan Wilcox, an All-American. It's been the first year we haven't seen him in a few years, and he was been such a big part of the success of your program. Can you talk a little bit about Ryan?
Ryan, he's a guy that you can't replace, that's for sure, in so many ways. He really changed our program 5 years ago. He came in. We had a pretty good core of guys who've been here for a year, some of them 2 years. Ryan came in as a young freshman. We knew he was going to hit the court right away, and he did, and he changed the way that we thought about competing, brought that with him. He's a phenomenal player. He's going to be a phenomenal coach. He's coaching right now. He just started, I think, helping out at OCC and helping out club with Balboa Bay. And we're going to miss him a ton. You do not replace a Ryan Wilcox. But we're going to try to, see if we can get somebody that can be half as good. That would be good.
Well, from the athlete perspective, Jaden, how is it like to have such a player with you in the gym for 2 years for you?
Oh my God, what a leader and what a mentor he has been for the last 3 years of my life. Such a phenomenal outside hitter and player, obviously. Great passer, great attacker. But it's those off the court things that I think were the best about Ryan. What a guy to have in the gym, what a guy to have as a friend. So those are the biggest things. I know he's coaching at Balboa and Newport Harbor and OCC right now. He's going to have a great career doing that. And then he's going to be a great beach player when he does that. So I'm looking forward to see what he does in the future, and it's going to be hard to replace him.
Well, it's interesting. I know that, certain programs have a little more coverage than others, but I can only imagine if a camera's at every single Santa Barbara match, because even in the few times I've cut on film, he's always been part of some kind of highlight reel, pulling off some amazing play with extra effort, extra gusto, and grit, which is something that I feel like is a characteristic of the Santa Barbara program, Rick. But I know you're such a humble guy. You're not going to take any credit for it, but that's something as a culture that you bring into that gym. But what's made you so successful in getting that to your guys and buying into that mentality?
It's sounds corny, but it's the guys. It's the guys that work real hard and have success. And it started with our 2011 team that, I came in and Kenny had recruited an incredible class, and I got handed these guys, and we trained hard, and they bought in and they made it all the way to the championship match. And then it just trickles down. They teach the guys that come in and so forth. And we've had a couple other trips, to the Final Four, and we're just knocking on the door. And I think this group can do it. I think they can get there too. It's just, we got to learn the same way all these other groups have learned how to compete and value every point. And, they're getting there. They're working really hard, and this group's going to be a great group.
So, Jaden, I've obviously seen you through your juniors and high school career, and you've always been quite the grinder yourself. But do you feel that the other guys in the gym are the same or even more grinders than you are?
Oh my gosh, 100%. We have a lot of guys in our gym that have been developing from their freshman and sophomore years, and then we have 4 great new freshman players who have come in and are grinders as well. I think that's part of our identity. We're a scrappy team. We were a small team the previous years, but we've got a couple new big guys. So we're changing in that regard a little bit. But I think that scrappiness and that grindiness that we've had over the past couple of years, we're bringing it into this year. And we've been working hard in the gym this fall. So we're excited to show what we got come winter.
From what I've seen of your team, it's be hard to imagine scrappy and grindy and adding in a bigger element, because I've seen your roster and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is going to be quite the combo. But we'll get there eventually. Recently, you made a big signing, a special player, Nico Stewart. Can you both speak to our viewers about this signing and how significant that is for your program? And we'll start with you, Jaden.
Oh my God. We've loved to have Nico in our gym, and he just signed with us last week, actually. So that was an awesome thing to see. But getting to know him over the past couple of weeks or so, he's a great young kid. He loves our program. We love him, and we love kind of showing him the ropes. He's a great kid to have. Yeah, we're gonna love having him as our water boy in the season. So I love it.
And Rick, how are you connected to it? There's a Project Impact, I believe it's called.
I had heard about it, and our associate athletic director, Tom Hastings, hooked it up for us. It fits perfectly. Nico is a local kid that is at Santa Barbara High School, and Tom has kids, and everybody knows Nico, and it's just going to be a great experience for him to kind of take the next step in maturity and learn about a lot of stuff. And we love having him in the gym with us. So we've only had him a couple times in the fall, but during the season, it's going to pick up, and we're really looking forward to it.
Excellent. All right, this question is for you, Coach. And I know from speaking with you last year and knowing some of the parents of some of the players, but gosh, your team was plagued with so many unfortunate accidents, literally, and injuries. And it seems like with these guys, this team could have been a lot different last season. But can you speak to like what it could have been for 2023 had you been at even 90%? Because I know we made a joke last year that you could put an ad on Craigslist that could show up on the Santa Barbara roster.
Yeah. I think it could have been pretty good. And it's never all happened at once like that for me in the whole time I've been coaching, but it happens. I've seen it happen to other programs. We really took a beating in the middle with injuries. So we lost a huge leader for us in Brandon Hicks real early in the season. Then we lost Donovan Todorov, those were our two starting middles. Then Reese Frankie got injured, and Dane Johnson had a little spell where he was injured. We had to start training, other players to be middle setters. We ended up with a setter in the middle who was really good, Connor Dunn. But the reason we still were able to compete was because of the guys, how they treat each other and the respect they have for each other. And they just wanted to try to win as a team. And so guys like Connor Dunn made a huge sacrifice. He played the middle when he hadn't his whole life. And also Sam Meister was going to be a great outside opposite. He went into the middle, and now he could start in the middle for us because he's that good of an athlete. He's just kind of taken over. So I think you never want to say what could have been because, it wasn't. And other teams were great, and we weren't good enough at the time with who we had. But I would have liked to have seen that team out there at 100%. It would have been really, really good, especially for the seniors like Ryan and Dane Chalmers and those guys.
So I'm going to bounce this question over to Jaden, but being that you're the one that's in the gym every day, in the weight room, and traveling and hosting the home matches, but what is it that Coach does that makes the Gauchos so competitive no matter what the lineup they puts out?
Oh my gosh. I think teaching and coaching, they do a great job at coaching well-rounded volleyball players. So we don't just learn specific skills in the middle or as a setter. For me as a libero, you kind of get to learn everything. At the beginning of practice, we work a lot on ball control, and I think that's good for every single player on our team. You need to know how to do that. So with Connor was a setter, but then he learned blocking out of the middle very well. He learned how to read block, and he became a pretty good middle. So I think just our coaches do a great job with teaching us all the skills, and that helps us when times of injury to pretty much our entire team come about.
And Rick, you mentioned when we'd spoken earlier that there have been some changes to your coaching staff. Although they're not leaving, they've gone to a part-time staff, but you've added another person on. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah. First off, Jonah Safe, who's been unreal for us. He and Blaine Nielsen. Jonah got an incredible career opportunity right after he got his master's. He just finished his master's. Incredible chance, but he still loves volleyball, and he's going to be able to be local. So he moved into a part-time role with us. Huge that we still get to have him in our gym. But then we even got stronger by adding Randy DeWeese, a former All-American for us. And had 2 great years in Germany, getting, some experience over there. And he has come in and made a difference right away. So we just got a lot stronger with the new NCAA rule where you can have 3 coaches paid, and it's going to be great.
Excellent. Now, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on the pieces you have coming back for the 2024 season, because every team has their characteristic recruiting class and how they look like when they come in. But it seems like you have a good mix of returners, some freshmen, and some community college transfers. So let's have Jaden speak to that, and then we'll go to you, Rick.
Yep.
For sure. Last year, Owen Berg, obviously, he went down with an injury. He was one of our big-time players, or opposites. So having him recover from his injury and being back is huge for us. Obviously, our 4 freshmen that we got George Bruning, great opposite outside, went to my alma mater, high school, Corona Del Mar. Great player.
Don't forget to mention that.
Oh, yeah. Josh Ruya, great middle from South OC. And then Joe Wallace, community college transfer, great player. And then Alex Smith's Van Oyen as well. So those 4 freshmen are incredible. And then Owen Berg, Jack Walmer, Greg Baglio, Ben Court. We got a lot of guys coming back. They've been developing over the summer and the fall. So we're super excited to put these pieces together and show what we got.
How about you, Rick? Thoughts on that?
I agree with everything. A couple guys I'll also mention. Jess Bianchi's been playing great. He came from OCC. Travis did a great job with him, and he has come in and he's gotten stronger. Just kind of learning how to compete at a higher level, and he has been great this whole fall. Reese Barnett, if we can ever find a way to get Reese, he's been very unlucky with some injuries, but when he is healthy, he has a cannon and he has a great mind in competing. So we're hoping to he just did his ankle at one of the last tournaments, but I think he's going to be back before the season starts. So we're really excited to get Reese and Jess, along with all the guys that Jaden mentioned. And there's also a couple guys that redshirted for us last year that we, think really highly of. They're going to be in the mix, like Patrick Kane. It's going to be interesting. I think, Rob, when we talked a little bit, I told you we could have a lot of different lineups for the first 2 months of the year, and it'll be great because a lot of guys will be learning and getting experience, and we have some depth that we've never had. So it'll be great.
Looking at your schedule now, as you look at 2024, I mean, you've never scheduled light. It's always hard to pick out. Let's highlight 1 or 2 Santa Barbara matches. I'm like, look, Rick brings in the gauntlet, and you guys go through the fire like right off the bat. So we know you're going to play some tough matches, but you're hosting the national champion UCLA or actually you're at UCLA on January 25th. That's an obvious one to look at. But I'm going to ask Jaden, are there any particular matches you particularly look forward to in the preseason?
Yeah. Just from a trip standpoint, I'm very excited to go back east at the end of January. It got cut for COVID when we were going to go my freshman year. So this is my first time kind of doing that. Obviously that UCLA match and the first tournament at Santa Barbara at the beginning of January, but probably going back east, playing against 3 good teams. That's probably my matches that I'm looking forward to the most.
How about you, Rick? I know you've made the schedule, but is there any particular chain of preseason matches you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to University of British Columbia on January 2nd. That's where it'll start for me. I look forward to getting going and these guys seeing how they can play under pressure, and that's the first match, so it's the most important to me for sure.
It's a better answer.
Well, ironically, Big West play starts early for the Gauchos against UC Santa Barbara for 1. Then you play a couple non-conference and go right back into Big West conference play. But, man, you definitely don't start off easy. Long Beach State, UC Irvine, and Hawaii ×2 at Hawaii. So you get your test nice and early in the Big West. What are your thoughts on what that could look like going into leading into the postseason?
The Big West, nothing is easy about the Big West. That's why we're the best conference going. We have, two guys last year who had their first year coaching at Northridge and San Diego who are going to be incredible coaches. And so I don't know who's going to finish 1 to 6. There's no way of knowing. And every single night we play is a big time match. So I love it. I love being in a league like that. I think it's the best thing for our program. And if you can compete in our league, you're ready to win a championship.
So, Jane, I got to ask, being that you've only been, this will be your 3rd year in the conference, but what do you think of playing in the Big West?
Oh my gosh, it's the most stacked conference for a reason. You got 6 great teams. You got to play them twice each. So you got 10 games in conference. Those 10 games are all very intense, high level. And Long Beach, Hawaii, UCI, CSUN, and San Diego. I mean, they're great. They're also great teams, great competitors. And I'm excited for those matches as well.
Well, all sounds good. I wanted to ask one off the cuff question for both of you guys, but in one word, how would you describe Big West Conference play and why? And let's start with you, Rick.
I would say one word, just competitive all around. The highest level of competition you can have in collegiate men's volleyball is our league. And so I'll say competitive.
All right. And Jaden, take a shot.
I would say it's a grind. A lot of games go 5, that you don't expect to go 5. So anything could happen. And it all matters in those crunch time moments.
Well, always got to end on a light note because there's going to be a posted version on YouTube. But Rick, you made some suggestions of where to eat when you're in Santa Barbara. Does that change from last year, or do you have a new place in mind?
Ooh, there's so many good places. Our guys love South Coast Deli, one of the best for sandwiches, salads, one of the top, and Los Agaves Mexican restaurant. Those are our 2 top.
You say you're not getting a kickback from that because you said that one last year.
Yeah. I hope I get something.
How about you, Jaden? Top place for you as the athlete?
Those are both great options. I would say East Beach Tacos myself. Great taco stand. Batting cages next to it. So that's my spot.
And then, Jaden, and on your part, can you define bigs?
Bigs, nice.
Bigs is bigs. That's all I got to say.
Bigs is the best.
No definition.
He's the man.
Coming from a dad who's a UCSB alum, right?
Oh, yeah.
And there you go. There's your plug.
Gotta love it.
All
Thank
right.
you, Rob. I appreciate that one.
Make sure he keeps paying those checks. All right.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Rick McLaughlin of UC Santa Barbara and Jaden Glenn, Libero for Santa Barbara. Thank you for joining me here this afternoon.
Thanks,
for
Rob.
having us.